cop car. Hey.
Hi folks, Jason Shapiro here. Interesting cases that keep coming into our office regarding police officers stopping my clients and charging them for driving while suspended. Basically, the scenario goes as follows. The police are either traveling down the road and they have some free time and they have an onboard computer and they type in your license number in the computer, or believe it or not, with the digital cameras that are now installed on some police cruisers, as you go by the police officer, the cruiser's camera takes a picture of your license plate and almost instantaneous brings up all the information regarding that automobile. So if an officer's behind you at a light or his camera takes a picture of your license plate, he can bring up on his computer screen all the information about the car. If the car has valid tags, if it's suspended for vehicle admissions, but it also brings up whether the whether the owner of the car, not knowing who the driver is, but knowing who the owner of the car is driving on a suspended or revoked privilege. What the police have been doing is when the license plate is typed in or photographed and the computer comes up and it shows that the registered owner is suspended, the police are stopping that person and writing tickets regarding driving while suspended. Driving while suspended can carry up to a year in jail and or fines of $1,000 as well as 12 points. There is also a lesser driving while suspended that carries up to 60 days in jail, up to $500 fine, and 3 points. So these are very serious charges when the police pull you over for driving while suspended. The police, first of all, have to be able to prove in court that you knew or should have known that you were suspended, and that is usually easily proven if they ask you, do you know you were suspended? And you say, yeah, you got me. You don't have to answer those questions to the police when they ask you that. You could always say, I'm not going to answer any questions without talking to an attorney first. But the interesting scenario is, what happens if it's my car? The car is registered to me. And what happens if my license is suspended or revoked and they pull over a car being driven by one of my kids because I'm the registered owner? Is that really the basis for a stop? In our system of justice, the citizens should go about their business and be unmolested by the police. They should not be stopped and have their, as the Supreme Court calls it, the freedom of locomotion taken from them without first what is called reasonable articulable suspicion that a crime has committed. The mere fact that the registered owner is suspended, is that enough to pull someone over? I'm clearly a white middle-aged man. What happens if I lend my car to one of my son's friends that might be a 20-some-year-old black female? Can they pull her over driving a car where the registered owner is suspended? Again, is there a reasonable, articulable suspicion that the black female is a white middle-aged guy named Jason Shapiro? Of course not. The courts have not weighed in on this issue, but for a court in Pennsylvania. In the Commonwealth of Pennsylvania, they say that the police are required to drive up and make some sort of visual confirmation that the driver looks similar to the description of the registered owner whose privilege to drive is suspended. And until the police make such a visual confirmation, the stop cannot take place. Maryland has not weighed in on this, but I have been successful in arguing the case law from Pennsylvania as a persuasive authority to the Maryland judges to having these kind of cases thrown out. So, folks, I would first tell you, always make sure your privilege to drive is valid. The best way to do that is not just filing a change of address should you move with the post office, but you need to file it with the Motor Vehicle Administration. The other thing you need to do is never admit anything to the police. I'm not telling you to lie. I'm telling you, you don't admit anything. Again, the best answer is, I don't want to say anything, officer, without first talking to my attorney. And lastly, if you are going to be stopped in one of these kinds of stops, please be mindful where the police are at all times. Please be mindful if there's ever an opportunity for the police to make any visual surveillance of you prior to the stop. Because if they do not, I want to know about it, because I'm going to bring up that Pennsylvania case to win your case. Thanks so much. Please be careful out there.
Hey, hey, like a cop car. Hey, I make you sad. I make you sad. Mrs. Officer.